The galaxy was quiet. Too quiet, some might have said. Millions of stars sparkled like scattered diamonds, and countless civilizations thrived, ruled by powerful councils and ancient empires. Yet, in all this vastness, a small human colony on the remote planet Arrender 7 screamed into the void, and no one listened. The humans were weak. At least, that was what the galaxy thought. Small, fragile bodies with untested technology and untrained armies. To the alien races, they were nothing but an annoyance. But on Arrender 7, weakness did not mean surrender. Commander Lena Drake stood on the observation deck, her eyes scanning the horizon as the sky burned with fire. Alien ships descended like black locusts, swarming a field of wheat. Panic surged through the colony, but Lena kept her calm. "They're closing in fast," Lieutenant Khalid Voss said, his voice tight. "We won't hold them for long." Lena's jaw tightened. "Then we make every second count. Evacuation is impossible. We fight." Outside, the first wave of alien raiders struck. Their ships were massive, sleek, and deadly, bristling with weapons humans had never seen. Energy beams tore through buildings, melting walls and throwing debris into the sky. The colony's defenses fired back, but their cannons barely scratched the alien armor. Still, they fought, because surrender was never an option. As the battle raged, Lena watched the alien commanders on their flagship. They observed humans fighting like animals in a cage, smiling with their insect-like faces. "Weaklings," she muttered. "They don't know we have fire in our veins." Humans were small, fragile, and unpredictable, but they were clever. And cleverness, in a galaxy that underestimated them, was their greatest weapon. Deep inside the colony, Dr. Mara Hensley, a young physicist, worked frantically. She had discovered a relic hidden beneath the planet's surface, a piece of ancient, dormant technology. "If we can activate it," she whispered to Lena, "we might have a chance." Lena nodded. "Do it. Everything depends on it." Above ground, buildings crumbled and smoke filled the air. The humans' distress signals had been ignored for years. But they had something the others didn't understand: courage. And when cornered, courage becomes more dangerous than any weapon. "Divert power to the defense grid," Lena ordered. "Everyone else, protect Dr. Hensley." The first alien ship landed, soldiers pouring out with glowing weapons. Humans met them with laser rifles, makeshift explosives, even their bare hands. The aliens laughed, confident. But the humans did not retreat. They countered, they adapted, they endured. Dr. Hensley reached the underground lab. The relic hummed as she activated it, strange energy pulsing through the room. This could be the key. Back above, for every human that fell, 2 more rose to fight. Alien soldiers grew confused, their cold logic faltering against raw determination. Then, Lena did something unexpected. She picked up the emergency transmitter and sent a message into the void. "To anyone listening," she said, her voice firm, "we will not die quietly. Humanity fights. Humanity survives. And one day, vengeance will come." The signal shot across the stars, a message of defiance, of fire, of warning. For a moment, the galaxy remained silent. Then, somewhere far beyond human eyes, a ripple stirred. Something had noticed. Something had heard. The fight on Arrender 7 was no longer just for survival. It was the first spark of a revolution that would shake the galaxy to its core. For centuries, the galaxy had looked upon humanity as nothing more than a footnote. Weak, insignificant, and easy to dismiss. But on the forgotten colony of Arrender 7, that perception was about to be shattered in a storm of fire and defiance. Deep beneath the colony, Dr. Mara Hensley made a final adjustment. She activated the alien relic. A pulse of energy surged through the chamber, illuminating symbols that had slept for millennia. Lena Drake watched, her heart pounding, as the device hummed with a strange, almost sentient power. This wasn't just technology. It responded to thought, to intent, to human will itself. Outside, the alien raiders were pressing their attack, expecting the humans to crumble like dust. But something was wrong. For the first time, the human defenses moved in ways they couldn't predict. Cannons fired with impossible timing, lasers twisted midair, and traps sprang from nowhere. There, adapting, an alien lieutenant stammered. How? Lena clenched her fists. The relic was amplifying their ingenuity, turning raw instinct into deadly strategy. A rookie engineer rigged an explosive that wiped out an entire alien squadron. A medic used its energy to create a shield, saving dozens of civilians. The raiders recoiled. The humans had become unpredictable, unstoppable. Meanwhile, Lena's distress signal rippled across the galaxy. It was ignored by the great powers, but in the uncharted darkness, a lone observer took notice. A small, ancient scout ship, long forgotten, changed course. It wasn't sent by any council. It was drawn by the signal, by the raw power of human will. Back on Arrender 7, the humans launched their first counterattack. They were no longer just defending, they were hunting. Using guerrilla tactics and the relic's energy, they tore through the alien ranks. "Move!" shouted Khalid Voss, leading a strike team. "Hit them where they won't expect it." The alien fleet commander, a being clad in black crystal armor, roared in frustration. These humans defy logic. They shouldn't be able to fight like this. And he was right. They shouldn't have. But they fought with cunning and unity. Qualities the galaxy had long forgotten could be weapons. As night fell, the humans stood among the wreckage, battered but alive. Then, the relic projected a holographic map, revealing secrets of the galaxy, weaknesses in ancient empires. "This changes everything," Mara whispered. As dawn broke, the aliens retreated, their arrogance shattered. Above the planet, the scout ship drew closer. It had seen enough. Humanity's spark had just ignited a fire. Lena looked to the horizon. "This is just the beginning," she said quietly. "They think we're weak. They don't understand what humans are capable of when cornered." And across the void, for the first time, the galaxy began to feel a tremor of fear. In the heart of the galaxy, the Galactic Council convened. They were the masters of known space, a coalition of ancient, powerful races who saw themselves as gods. But today, their endless debates were interrupted by a signal from the fringes, a human signal. It was a warning, a defiant cry from a species they had long dismissed as insignificant. "We will not be ignored." Counselor Thyrax, a being of shimmering silver scales, was furious. "Absurd. Humans are weak. How can they challenge us?" But another counselor, Liorana, saw the truth. They should have been exterminated centuries ago. Yet they just destroyed a raiding fleet with tactics we can't even comprehend. They are unusual. Back on the scarred world of Arrender 7, Lena Drake and her colony were not just surviving, they were preparing. A mysterious alien relic, humming beneath the planet's surface, began revealing its secrets. It showed them hidden alien bases, forgotten technology, and unclaimed starships scattered across the galaxy. Mara Hensley, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and excitement, turned to Lena. "We could strike back at the Council. If we wanted." Lena's gaze hardened. "We're not reckless, but we are human. The galaxy watched us burn. They will learn not to test us again." Infuriated by this defiance, the Council dispatched their most elite inspection fleet to Arrender 7. Their mission, to crush the human colony and erase this embarrassing challenge to their authority. They were confident that their superior numbers and technology would make it a swift, clean operation. They couldn't have been more wrong. Lena and her people were ready. They had studied the relic, and they had a plan. They wouldn't hide. They would fight. As the alien fleet entered the system, the human colony activated their trap. Using the relic's power, they projected phantom energy signatures, created illusions, and unleashed automated defenses that turned the battlefield into chaos. The alien commander laughed as he ordered the attack. "Destroy these insects." But his laughter died as his fleet was engulfed in a storm of unpredictable energy. Ships went dark. Weapons malfunctioned. His elite squads were ambushed by humans who moved like shadows, striking with a terrifying, illogical precision that no alien mind could anticipate. From afar, Counselor Lirana watched in stunned silence. They are extraordinary. That one word spread through the council like wildfire. For the first time, the galaxy realized what humanity had always known. They were not meant to be ignored. They were small, yes, but a fire burned within them, a fire that could consume anything that underestimated it. As the battered alien fleet retreated, Lena looked out at the stars. The council would come again, stronger than before. But now, humanity was ready. They had something more dangerous than any starship or laser cannon. They had themselves. And they were just beginning to awaken. For centuries, the galaxy watched humanity from a distance. They saw our struggles, heard our cries for help, and dismissed them all. They thought we were weak, just another fledgling species to be ignored. But on the colony of Arrender 7, something changed. The humans there weren't asking for help anymore. They were taking back what was denied to them. Vengeance. Lena Drake stood on the ruins of the colony's main station, her gaze fixed on the horizon where alien fleets once loomed. The humans had rebuilt with impossible speed, scavenging the wreckage of their enemies and twisting alien technology into their own weapons of war. Deep beneath the planet's surface, an ancient relic pulsed with energy, its rhythm like a heartbeat for all of humanity. "We strike tonight," Lena's voice was calm, but held a deadly edge. "We hit their supply lines first. Then we take their ships. Let them learn what it means to be afraid." Khalid Voss nodded beside her. "They won't know what hit them. They'll call it luck, a fluke, but it's not luck. It's human strategy." As darkness cloaked the planet, the first human offensive launched from Arrender 7. Small, elite teams armed with scavenged alien tech and enhanced by the relic moved like ghosts through space. They targeted resource convoys, communication hubs, and lightly defended outposts, places the Galactic Council considered untouchable. The reaction was shock and disbelief. They. They are too clever. An alien officer stammered into his comms, panic creeping into his voice. This is impossible. And it was impossible by the rigid rules of engagement. But humans didn't fight by the rules. We fought with instinct, cunning, and a courage that defied all alien logic. We used decoys, feints, and traps that turned their greatest strengths into crippling weaknesses. Entire convoys vanished without a trace. From Arrender 7, Lena orchestrated the symphony of chaos. Every move was calculated, yet fluid and adaptable. The humans struck, vanished, and struck again before the enemy could even react. Word spread like wildfire through the alien ranks. The humans of Arrender 7 were unstoppable when cornered. The Galactic Council was now in a state of alarm. Counselor Thyrax slammed a clawed fist on the chamber table. "Contain them. We cannot allow a single primitive species to rewrite the rules of war." But Lirana, a wiser counselor, shook her head. "Containment is impossible. They are evolving. Each strike teaches them, strengthens them. They adapt faster than any species I have seen in 1,000 years." Above Arrender 7, human pilots performed miracles. Their starfighters danced through dense asteroid fields, ambushing patrols and disappearing before a single shot could be fired in retaliation. In a hidden lab, Mara Hensley used the relic's energy to predict enemy movements, giving the pilots an almost supernatural advantage. One team even infiltrated a major alien command ship, disabling its core systems and leaving the flagship to drift helplessly in the void. The reports flooded Lena's console. Ships destroyed, supply lines shattered, morale broken. "This is only the beginning," she whispered, her eyes gleaming with cold fire. "They thought we were weak. They thought we would die quietly. Now they will see what humanity does when it's pushed too far." The galaxy had ignored our cries. But now it would listen to our war drums. Humanity was no longer the victim. We were the storm, and the winds of revenge had only just begun to blow. The galaxy had underestimated humanity. That was a mistake that would cost them everything. It had been months since the humans of Arrender 7 launched their first counterstrikes. Once mighty alien fleets were now scattered and demoralized, their supply lines shattered. Whispers of humanity's impossible cunning spread like wildfire through the star systems. Worlds that had never even heard of Earth now trembled at the mention of the species that refused to be crushed. Commander Lena Drake stood on the bridge of the colony's command center, holographic maps flickering around her. Every pulse of light represented a human victory, a precise and calculated move. Strike, retreat, adapt, learn. This was their new creed. Deep beneath the planet's surface, the ancient relic they had discovered pulsed like a living heart, feeding them knowledge of alien technology, battle tactics, and weaknesses across the galaxy. Khalid Vaz, her second-in-command, paced nearby. He pointed at a constellation of red dots representing an alien armada. "They think they're hunting us," he said, a grim smile on his face. "But every step they take, they walk deeper into our trap. Their arrogance blinds them." Lena nodded, her eyes fixed on the flow of data. "And we just keep getting stronger. The galaxy ignored us for centuries. Now, we're learning more in a few months than they have in a millennium." Their next target was a high-value research outpost on a distant moon. It housed experimental weapons and critical data on the Council's fleet movements. A small human strike team, their abilities enhanced by the relic's energy, moved like ghosts in the dark. In minutes, they disabled the defenses, seized the research, and vanished without a trace, leaving the alien commanders completely bewildered. Back at the Galactic Council, panic was setting in. Counselor Lirana slammed a clawed hand on the polished table. "Containment is no longer an option. They adapt faster than any species we've ever encountered. Every strike teaches them something new. If we don't stop them now, they will become unstoppable." But it was already too late for containment. Humans weren't just defending anymore. They were controlling the rhythm of the war. In the skies above Arrender 7, human starfighters executed maneuvers that defied alien physics, guided by Mara Hensley's team in the lab, who used the relic to anticipate enemy movements with terrifying accuracy. "We have to be careful," Lena warned her team. "The Council will send their elite fleets. They'll try to overwhelm us with sheer numbers." Khalid's eyes burned with determination. "Then we strike smarter, not just harder. We'll show them humanity is more than tactics. It's courage, creativity, and unity." And they did. Human forces infiltrated Council observation posts, exploited rivalries between alien factions, and turned their enemies' allies against one another. The galaxy watched in stunned disbelief as the underdogs began to dominate. "They are teaching the galaxy that weakness can be strength," roared Counselor Thyrax in fury. "If we allow this, they will control the future." A small, grim smile touched Lena's lips as she reviewed the latest report. "Let them underestimate us," she whispered. "They'll never learn until it's far too late." The fire that the galaxy had ignored for so long was now burning brighter than any star. The humans of Arrender 7 were awake, and they were just getting started. The galaxy had begun to notice. For too long, humanity was dismissed a footnote in the cosmic archives. Weak, insignificant, but no longer. From the small colony of Arrender 7, a firestorm had been unleashed. Fleets were crippled, supply lines shattered, and the Galactic Council's authority openly challenged. Their response was predictable: overwhelming force. The Council sent its mightiest fleet, hundreds of warships that had never known defeat. their cannons aimed at a single human world. Their mission was simple: crush humanity before it could spread. On the command deck of the colony's station, Lena Drake watched the enemy approach. They'd fought raiders and strike teams before, but this was annihilation incarnate. Her second-in-command, Khalid Voss, stood beside her, his face grim. "This is it, Lena, the Council's full power. If they break through..." Lena's gaze never wavered. Her voice was steel. "Then we make every strike count. Humanity does not bow. Humanity does not surrender. And humanity fights until the end." The battle began. The mysterious relic beneath the planet pulsed with ancient energy, weaving shields and illusions through space. Human starfighters, impossibly nimble, danced between the alien behemoths, striking at engines and weapon systems with uncanny precision. The Council's commanders raged. How are they doing this? They counter every move. They should have been dust by now. But the humans didn't just survive. They adapted. They turned captured ships into Trojan horses and disabled enemy shields with coordinated energy bursts. It was a symphony of courage and ingenuity, amplified by the relic's power. But victory demanded a heavy price. Starfighters became fireballs in the void. The station buckled under constant bombardment. Each life lost was a scar on Lena's soul, a reminder of the cost of defiance. Yet they pushed on. "Strike their central command." Lena's voice echoed across the bridge. "Use the relic to predict their every move. We fight not just to survive, but for the future of our entire species." Doubt began to fester in the enemy fleet. Their arrogance had been their downfall. They had underestimated humanity's will to sacrifice, to think outside the rigid doctrines of war. As confusion spread, the humans exploited every opening. Then came the final decisive blow. Lena coordinated a simultaneous assault on the Council's flagship. Starfighters, ground teams, and the relic itself converged in a single devastating strike. The massive warship, the very symbol of galactic might, tore itself apart. As it burned, Lena broadcast a single message for all to hear. "You ignored us. You watched us suffer. You thought we were weak. Humanity survives. Humanity fights. And humanity prevails." The invincible fleet broke, scattering into the void. On Arrender 7, amidst the wreckage and the silence, Lena looked to the stars. The battle was won, but the war for their place in the galaxy had just begun. Humanity had shown its strength, and the cosmos would never underestimate them again. The galaxy would never forget the humans of Arrender 7. Months after the decisive battle against the Galactic Council, humanity had proven one undeniable truth. No species could underestimate them and survive unscathed. The once ignored humans had survived impossible odds, struck with precision and ingenuity, and reshaped the galaxy's perception of strength. On the observation deck of the rebuilt colony, Commander Lena Drake watched the quiet reconstruction. The fires of battle were gone, replaced by the steady hum of progress. Humans repaired their homes, shared stories of heroism and sacrifice, and trained a new generation, ready for whatever came next. Khalid Voss joined her, his face calm but proud. "We did it. The galaxy saw what humans are capable of." Lena nodded, her gaze fixed on the stars. "They saw our strength, our courage, our unity, and they will remember it forever." Across the cosmos, news of humanity's victory spread like wildfire. Civilizations that once dismissed humans now paused in fear and awe. The humbled Galactic Council had begun to acknowledge that humans were no longer a minor species. They were a galactic power. Some approached with caution, some with admiration, and others with quiet fear. Dr. Mara Hensley, now in full control of the alien relic that started it all, knew the truth. The technology was a catalyst, but the real power was never in the artifact. It was in the human spirit. "We didn't just survive," she said softly. "We changed the galaxy. Lena's eyes scanned the stars. Somewhere, the scout ship that had first observed humanity lingered, silent yet watchful. Its ancient passengers now recognized one thing: humanity had awakened. Their spark had become a flame, and no force could extinguish it. The humans of Arrender 7 had not only defended themselves, they had demanded respect and carved a place among the stars. Small colonies, ignored worlds, and overlooked species now whispered of humanity's courage, of how a single underestimated species could rise and challenge empires. Yet for Lena, the victory was bittersweet. The cost had been high, friends lost, lives sacrificed. But they had endured, and that endurance was their greatest triumph. Looking out at the stars, Lena spoke quietly, almost to herself. The galaxy ignored our cries, but we will never ignore our destiny. Humanity fights, humanity survives, and humanity thrives. Far beyond known space, the ripples of humanity's rise spread further. Unknown civilizations took notice. Alliances shifted. Empires reconsidered their strategies. The galaxy itself seemed to pause, acknowledging a new power. The humans of Arrender 7 had ignited something far greater than vengeance. They had set a new standard for courage and resilience. From a small, overlooked colony, they had become a beacon. As the twin suns of Arrender 7 rose, humanity looked forward, not as victims, but as conquerors of the impossible, architects of their own destiny. The galaxy had ignored them once. Humanity ensured it would never make that mistake again.